Music is a universal language, a force that transcends boundaries and connects the soul to something greater. But in Africa, music is not just an art form, it is a spiritual power, deeply woven into the fabric of daily life. It's not merely for entertainment or celebration, it's a sacred practice, a force that heals, communicates with the divine, and binds communities together. African music is more than just rhythm and melody. It's a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, a pulse that resonates with the heartbeat of the earth itself. Across the vast continent of Africa, music has always been revered as a powerful tool for connection, connecting people to their ancestors, to the natural world, and to the spirits that guide them. In many African cultures, music is an essential part of rituals and healing practices. It is used to restore balance in the body, mind, and spirit, to invoke protection, and to celebrate the cycles of life. Every beat of the drum, every chant, every note of a song has meaning beyond the surface. It carries the energy of those who came before, the wisdom of the earth, and the presence of the divine. So, how does music heal and connect us to the divine? What is it about rhythm, sound, and song that has the power to transcend the ordinary, to awaken something deep within us? This question lies at the heart of African music's magic. In this exploration, we will dive into the profound spiritual role of music in African rituals, its deep connection to healing, and its enduring legacy. We will uncover how music is not just an expression of culture, it is a transformative force that continues to shape African societies and the world beyond. African music is far more than a means of entertainment or cultural expression. It is a living, breathing force that transcends the physical realm and reaches directly into the spiritual. In many African cultures, music is considered a sacred language that communicates with the divine, a bridge between the human soul and the universe. The rhythms, melodies, and harmonies aren't just sounds. They are carriers of power, spirit, and energy. From the moment the first drumbeat is struck, it sets the stage for a cosmic connection, allowing humans to communicate with gods, ancestors, and the natural world in ways words alone cannot. Among the Yoruba people of West Africa, music plays a central role in connecting with the Orishas, the deities that govern the forces of nature and human existence. The Yoruba believe that the Orishas are present in every aspect of life, and music is used to invoke their presence, ask for blessings, and maintain balance. Drums, chants, and songs are the primary instruments in these spiritual rituals. Each beat, each syllable, carefully selected to honor the deities and create the correct energy flow. The Yoruba use a variety of drums in their ceremonies, but the talking drum in particular holds an esteemed place in their music. The talking drum is so called because it can mimic the tones and rhythms of human speech, creating an almost direct conversation with the divine. This drum isn't just an instrument, it's an extension of the soul, an amplifier of the messages and prayers directed to the Orishas. The drum's sacred role extends beyond just the Yoruba. In many African traditions, the drum is seen as the heartbeat of the universe itself. It is believed that the rhythm of the drum mirrors the pulse of life and the heartbeat of the earth. When played, the drum not only connects humans to the divine, but also to each other. The act of drumming creates a communal bond, a shared experience that unites everyone present in a sacred space. It is in the sound of the drum that the spiritual and physical realms collide, merging the energy of the earth with the celestial forces that govern existence. The rhythms carry the power to heal, to protect, to communicate with the ancestors, and to invite the divine into the physical world. Beyond the Yoruba people, the use of music to connect with the divine is a widespread practice across the African continent. For example, the Akan people of Ghana are known for their use of the talking drum in spiritual ceremonies, much like the Yoruba. The Akan believe that the drum has the power to summon the spirits of ancestors and communicate with the gods. In the same vein, the Zulu people of Southern Africa also employ drumming in their rituals to invoke spiritual energies. The Zulu consider the drum to be a medium for the ancestors, who are said to reside in the spirits of the living. Whether through drumming, chanting, or song, the goal remains the same: to create a harmonious connection between the physical and spiritual worlds, to seek wisdom, and to restore balance to the community. The role of music in African cultures extends far beyond the borders of ritual and ceremony. Music is deeply embedded in the daily lives of Africans, whether in the rhythms of labor, the songs of the fields, or the dances of joy and celebration. Yet, its spiritual importance cannot be overstated. African music is not merely for human enjoyment. It is a vital spiritual practice that shapes the lives of individuals and communities alike. Every beat, every rhythm, every song serves a purpose. It is a prayer, an offering, a celebration of life, and a plea for divine intervention. In these spiritual practices, music functions as a vehicle for transformation, carrying messages and energies between the human and spiritual realms. The physical act of drumming or singing is an embodied experience that resonates with the heart and soul. It connects the body to the divine, invoking the presence of ancestors and spirits while grounding individuals in the energy of the earth. It's through these practices that Africans maintain a deep, continuous connection to their spiritual and cultural roots, drawing upon centuries of tradition and wisdom. In Africa, music is not a passive experience. It is a living force that shapes reality itself. It is a tool of empowerment, a means of spiritual connection, and a vehicle for healing and transformation. Through music, the divine is invoked, the spirit is nourished, and the community is united in purpose. This sacred art form is not just for entertainment. It is a profound practice that holds the power to connect us to the divine, to our ancestors, and to the deepest parts of ourselves, just as a tool for entertainment, but as a powerful means of restoring balance to the body, mind, and spirit. In many African cultures, music is seen as a vehicle for spiritual and physical healing, a bridge that connects the realms of the human experience to the divine. It's used in rituals to cleanse the body of negative energies, to realign the spirit, and to bring harmony back into a person's life when they are facing illness, misfortune, or emotional turmoil. Music is more than sound. It is a sacred practice that transforms the internal landscape of individuals, guiding them back to wholeness. In West Africa, the role of music in healing is deeply intertwined with ritual and community. Ritual music is an essential part of the healing process, particularly in the face of illness or bad luck. Many West African communities believe that sickness is not simply a physical condition, but a disconnection from spiritual and ancestral forces. Therefore, healing rituals often include music as a primary tool to restore harmony. The rhythms of the drum, the hum of the voice in chant, and the movement of the body all work together to summon the divine, invoke ancestral wisdom, and shift the energies around a person in need of healing. In some traditions, drumming is particularly important because the rhythms are believed to directly communicate with the spirit world. The beat of the drum acts as a pulse that recenters the individual, bringing them back into alignment with the natural world and their spiritual essence. Among the Zulu people of Southern Africa, music is used in a variety of ways to facilitate healing, both physically and emotionally. Zulu healing practices are centered around the use of drumming, chanting, and melodic singing to connect with the ancestors and call for spiritual guidance. Drumming is used not just to induce a rhythmic trance, but to cleanse and purify the spirit. Chanting and singing are believed to channel healing energies, filling the space with sacred sound. The Zulu healers, known as Sangomas, play a vital role in these rituals, guiding the healing process with their deep knowledge of music and its ability to shift energy. The Sangoma is both a spiritual leader and a healer, often in communication with the ancestors, using music to invoke their presence and wisdom. The healing process under a Sangoma's guidance involves more than just a physical remedy. It's an emotional and spiritual journey where music is the key to unlocking the transformative power of the ritual. Similarly, in North Africa, the role of music in healing is deeply embedded in the spiritual practices of the Berber and Tuareg people. Among these communities, music is not just used for ceremonial purposes, but is also integral to healing and spiritual alignment. In both the Berber and Tuareg traditions, the use of instruments like drums and stringed instruments, as well as vocal chants, is seen as a way to harmonize the body with the spiritual forces of the earth. In these cultures, healing rituals are often a combination of music, dance, and prayer, designed to release negative energies and restore balance to the body. The deep, resonant sounds of the drums are used to create a vibration that penetrates the physical body, calming the mind and soothing the spirit. These rhythmic patterns and melodies are believed to facilitate a shift in consciousness, helping individuals transcend their physical ailments and connect with higher spiritual realms that offer healing. The psychological and physical effects of African music in healing are profound. Modern research has begun to confirm what African cultures have known for centuries. Music, particularly deep rhythmic drumming and melodic chanting, has significant effects on mental health and well-being. Rhythmic drumming, for example, has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety by lowering cortisol levels and promoting relaxation. The repetitive, deep rhythms of African drums can induce altered states of consciousness, allowing individuals to enter a meditative state that facilitates emotional release and healing. Similarly, the use of chanting and melodic singing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and promotes emotional healing. In a broader sense, music serves as a tool for community building and emotional support. In many African cultures, healing music is not just for the individual, it is also for the collective. Music played in community rituals serves as a bonding experience, allowing people to come together and share in the energy of healing. This communal aspect of music is essential as it fosters a sense of belonging and emotional support, which are crucial for overall health and wellness. In this way, African music is not only a tool for individual healing, but also a method of maintaining the collective health and spiritual balance of the community. Through drumming, chanting, and singing, African music becomes a spiritual and psychological tool that restores harmony and heals on multiple levels. It is not just sound, it is a transformative force that guides individuals and communities back to balance, to connection, and to the divine. As the rhythms of Africa continue to echo through the world, their power to heal and restore remains as potent as ever. African music in its purest form acts as a social glue that binds communities together in a way that transcends mere sound. In African societies, music is much more than an artistic expression. It is a communal practice that strengthens bonds, unites families, and builds solidarity within a group. It provides a platform for emotional connection, collective memory, and shared experiences. Music is woven into the fabric of life itself, playing a central role in everything from birth to death, from celebrations of harvest to the marking of significant life milestones. In these spaces, music becomes the heartbeat of the community, a reflection of its collective identity and spirit. In African cultures, music is central to the celebration of life's most important events. From births to weddings, from harvests to funerals, music forms an essential part of every major occasion. It provides both a form of expression and a means of invoking the sacred. In communities across the continent, it is common to see people singing, drumming, and dancing to mark life events, celebrating the divine forces at work in these moments of transition. For example, in the Ashanti community of Ghana, music plays a significant role in their annual festivals, where the entire community comes together to celebrate their culture, history, and unity. During these festivals, drummers and singers come together in an organized display of rhythm and song, welcoming in the spirit of their ancestors, reinforcing community identity and honoring the past while looking forward to the future. Music in the Ashanti festivals is not just a form of entertainment. It is an act of communal affirmation that strengthens the bonds between individuals and generations. The concept of collective participation is a cornerstone of African music's role in community building. In many African cultures, music is not something that one simply listens to. It is something that one actively participates in. This is particularly evident in activities such as drumming circles, communal dances, and chanting. These group-based practices provide a unique opportunity for each member of the community to take part in the creation of music, making it a shared experience. The power of collective participation cannot be overstated. It builds unity, fosters a sense of belonging, and nurtures the spirit of cooperation. Whether it's the rhythmic beating of drums or the synchronized movements of dancers, the act of creating music together fosters a deep connection between the participants and the larger community. Music becomes the thread that ties everyone together, whether they are related by blood or by spirit. In these moments, the individual merges with the collective and the music becomes a powerful force that embodies unity. The role of elders and storytellers in passing down songs and stories is another key element in the ritualistic role of music. In many African communities, the elder generation holds the responsibility of preserving and transmitting cultural knowledge, and music plays a vital part in this transmission. Songs, chants, and rhythms serve as carriers of history, culture, and spirituality. Elders pass down these traditions to the younger generations, ensuring that the knowledge and wisdom of the past are preserved for the future. These songs often contain important lessons about the community's values, the spiritual world, and the connection to the earth and the ancestors. The act of storytelling through music is a sacred duty, as it reinforces the importance of tradition and continuity. It is through these shared songs and stories that the collective memory of a community is passed down, ensuring that the values, beliefs, and practices are never forgotten. One of the most sacred forms of music in African communities is the drumming circle, which has the unique ability to unite people both spiritually and physically. Drumming, particularly in African traditions, is more than just sound. It's a sacred practice that connects individuals to one another and to the spiritual world. The rhythmic patterns of the drum have the power to heal, to invoke spirits, and to unite people in a shared experience. The sound of the drum carries a profound spiritual energy that reverberates through the bodies of those who participate, aligning them with the rhythms of nature and the universe. In West Africa, the griot tradition is one example of how sacred drumming serves to bind people together. The griots, who are keepers of history and culture, use drums, songs, and chants to tell stories and preserve the history of the people. Through the rhythms of the drum, the griots connect their communities to their past, reminding them of their shared identity and values. The drum is not just a tool for communication. It is a link to the spiritual realm, and in the hands of the griots, it becomes a bridge between the living and the ancestors. In these rituals, music is not a passive experience. It's an active force that calls people to participate, to engage. Music creates a space where individuals can experience a deep sense of belonging, where the personal becomes collective, and where the individual's energy aligns with the energy of the community. Through the power of rhythm, sound, and song, African music continues to be the glue that holds communities together, ensuring that the legacy of culture, spirituality, and history is passed on to the next generation. African music's legacy stretches far beyond the continent, leaving an indelible mark on the musical landscape of the world. The rhythms, melodies, and spiritual connections that define African music have influenced countless genres and styles, shaping the sound of modern music as we know it today. From the very beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, music became a vital tool for the preservation of African culture and identity, serving as both a form of resistance and a means of coping with the brutal realities of displacement. African music not only survived the horrors of slavery, but also became a powerful force that transcended borders, influencing musical movements across the globe. During the transatlantic slave trade, African music served as a form of resistance against the dehumanization that enslaved people endured. As millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homelands and transported to the Americas, their music became one of the few means by which they could retain their cultural identity. Slaves used music as a way to preserve their connection to Africa, passing down rhythms, chants, and melodies that were embedded with cultural and spiritual significance. These musical traditions were not just a form of expression, they were a form of survival. In the face of unimaginable hardship, African music became a means of resistance, a way to maintain the connection to their roots and to communicate with one another in coded ways. Through music, enslaved Africans could express their pain, their hopes, and their desire for freedom, creating an unbroken link to their heritage, even in the face of displacement. The influence of African music on the development of various musical genres is undeniable. The rhythms and techniques of African drumming became the foundation of many musical styles, including blues, jazz, reggae, and other forms of popular music. The call and response structure of African music, for example, can be heard in the improvisational elements of jazz. The syncopated rhythms of African drumming laid the groundwork for the rhythms found in blues, which in turn influenced the development of rock and roll. Similarly, reggae music, which originated in Jamaica, owes much of its rhythmic structure to the African influence, especially the emphasis on offbeat rhythms and polyrhythmic patterns. These African musical elements have been absorbed and transformed into the sound of modern popular music, making African music a cornerstone of many contemporary genres. Beyond the American influence, African music has had a profound impact on the Caribbean music scene. As Africans were displaced and transported across the Atlantic, their musical traditions spread throughout the Caribbean, leaving a lasting imprint on genres like calypso, ska, and soca. The rhythms of the African drum can still be heard in the beats of Caribbean music, which often blend African traditions with local influences. In the United States, the legacy of African music continues to shape the sound of popular music today, with hip-hop, rap, and R&B all drawing heavily from African rhythmic and melodic structures. The influence of African music can be seen not just in the instruments used, but in the very fabric of the music itself. The storytelling, the rhythms, and the connection to the community. In addition to its influence on music, African music also played a key role in the preservation of African heritage in the diaspora. Throughout history, African people have faced immense pressure to assimilate into foreign cultures and abandon their traditional practices. However, music has remained a vital tool for the preservation of African heritage. Through song, dance, and drumming, African people in the diaspora have kept their cultural identities alive, passing down stories, spiritual beliefs, and ancestral knowledge through generations. Even in the face of colonization, displacement, and forced assimilation, music has provided a link to Africa's past, ensuring that the richness of African culture is never lost. It has been a way for African communities in the diaspora to maintain a sense of identity, pride, and connection to their roots, even in the most difficult of circumstances. In recent years, the rise of Afrobeat and other contemporary African music genres has further solidified the global influence of African music. Afrobeat, a genre that blends traditional African rhythms with jazz, funk, and highlife, has gained international popularity with artists like Fela Kuti leading the charge. In addition to Afrobeat, genres like hip-hop, trap, and pop music have embraced African rhythms and melodies, bringing African culture to the forefront of global music scenes. The international success of African artists such as Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Tiwa Savage has shown that African music is no longer confined to the continent. It is now a global force, influencing music across continents. These artists are not only bringing African culture to the world, but also using their music to speak on issues of identity, empowerment, and social justice, further cementing the role of African music in shaping contemporary global culture. African music's legacy is one of resilience, creativity, and transformation. From its roots in the spiritual rituals of African communities to its global impact on modern music, African music continues to shape and influence the world. It is a testament to the power of music as a universal language, capable of transcending borders, connecting cultures, and preserving heritage. Through its rhythms, melodies, and stories, African music has become an enduring symbol of the strength and spirit of the African people, and its influence will continue to reverberate throughout the world for generations to come. Beyond spiritual and cultural expression, African music has also become a powerful tool for activism in the modern world. Throughout history, music has played a critical role in social and political movements, and today, African music continues to drive change. In the context of social justice, African musicians use their craft to speak out against inequality, injustice, and oppression. The rhythms of protest can be heard in the lyrics of musicians like Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Yemi Alade, who advocate for African pride, empowerment, and unity. Music has become an anthem of resistance, a powerful force for raising awareness about issues such as racial discrimination, poverty, and corruption. African artists, through their music, are not only challenging the status quo, but also celebrating their culture and history, insisting that African voices and experiences be heard on the global stage. In this way, African music continues to serve as both a tool for political resistance and a celebration of cultural resilience. In the African diaspora, music plays a similarly transformative role, becoming a symbol of pride, empowerment, and resilience. For generations, African communities scattered across the globe have turned to their musical heritage as a source of strength and unity. In the United States, the Caribbean, and parts of Latin America, African rhythms and melodies have influenced everything from jazz and blues to reggae and hip-hop. These genres, shaped by African musical traditions, have provided platforms for African descendants to reclaim their identity and resist cultural erasure. In these communities, African music has become a way of reconnecting with a shared history, while also asserting new identities in a world shaped by the legacies of slavery and colonization. Today, Afrobeats, hip-hop, and other genres rooted in African music continue to spread, serving as a form of global cultural diplomacy, where the music carries the voice of the African diaspora across borders. The continuing relevance of African music in the modern world is a testament to its enduring magic, not just in its rhythms or melodies, but in its power to heal, unite, and carry forward a legacy of cultural strength. African music is a living force that continually evolves, yet remains firmly grounded in its roots. It is a reflection of the resilience and creativity of African people, and a means of connecting to a past that continues to shape the future. Whether through spiritual ceremonies, social movements, or the celebration of cultural identity in the diaspora, African music is a force for transformation, a reminder of the power of sound to heal, to unite, and to inspire change. As the world continues to globalize, African music's influence will only grow stronger, continuing to bridge cultures and generations, enriching the world with its beauty, depth, and power. In conclusion, the enduring power of African music goes far beyond its captivating rhythms and melodies. It is, at its core, a spiritual force that has transcended centuries and continents, continuing to shape and connect communities, heal wounds, and carry forward the rich cultural legacy of Africa. From the deep ancestral ties expressed through sacred drumming and chanting to its role in global music genres, African music is not just an art form, it's a living, breathing practice that nourishes the soul. It binds people together, strengthens communities, and connects us all to something greater than ourselves, the divine, the ancestors, and the shared human experience. The legacy of African music is not confined to the past or merely a cultural artifact. It is a dynamic, ever-evolving force that continues to shape the spiritual, emotional, and social fabric of communities worldwide. It is a thread that weaves through time, linking generations, cultures, and peoples across the globe. African music is an unbroken chain that connects us to our roots, our ancestors, and the universal human spirit, reminding us that through sound and rhythm, we can heal, unite, and grow stronger together. I encourage you to dive deeper into the world of African music. Experience its power, its magic, and its profound connection to the human soul. Let it move you, inspire you, and help you rediscover a part of yourself. As we move through the modern world, it is essential to understand and appreciate the continued role of African music in shaping contemporary culture. It is a legacy we all can share and learn from. Words are not enough. Stay tuned for more insights into the transformative power of African tradition and culture. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the magic of African music.